grew up in a Palestinian Syrian household, and my upbringing was really rooted in this idea of hospitality. Food is actually my second career. I went back to the Arab world where my family is from, and I was really inspired by the food spaces, particularly the bakeries in the Arab world, and the vibrant community that surround them. Like we must have figured something out, because bakeries have existed from when time began, right? From whenever we could start making bread, and they're that important. And I really just loved them as community hubs and centers, and I wanted to recreate that. So that was kind of an aha moment for me, that I wanted to share Arab hospitality through the lens of bread. I grew up as an East Coast kid, and we grew up off of canned tomatoes, and the food that my mom talked about growing up, they lived on the Mediterranean. It's like they lived off the land. And that was the first time I had this connection of like, if I connect to the land that I'm on, in my case, California, I could connect to my roots. And that's how I started to learn how to cook the cuisine of my childhood. It's those aha moments along the journey that were really special to me in connecting with my employees. The humanity of, we're all in this together, we're all on the same level, we all have something to lose. So let's all have something collectively to gain here. Walking into what would be our future bakery, we just signed a lease on that bakery. Things are moving. It just shows that life moves and people change, and transformation is good, even if it's uncomfortable. If I go back to the roots of why I started Reem's in the first place, if that vision can guide me, because I think I was distracted by a lot of different things before the pandemic, but the pandemic really reminded me of what's really important. And we started Reem's not to be just a restaurant. We wanted it to be a space where our community could build resilience, especially in the places that we were in, where our community, quite frankly, needed that. That people could hardly afford to live there, could hardly afford to feed their kids. Having a space where people could feel their whole self, feel a sense of belonging, feeding people nourishing, healthy food, and creating sanctuary space, right? At a time where that felt very elusive. Those were our three core tenets. And so I think this movie really showed how we went back to our roots, right? When all else failed around us, it didn't matter what we did as long as we did those three things. And that's what we did. And we leaned into feeding the most food insecure of our population. We took care of our employees. We felt a sense of togetherness and safety, right? When it was really unsafe. All of the characters in this film showed that bravery to kind of look the eye of the storm, and to lean into what matters. And I think that guided us to get out of this in a better place than we entered. So I think if this film showed anything, obviously showed the broken systems around us and how it is really hard to intervene, but we were doing it in our own ways, and we're still doing it. And we've built resilience along the way to continue doing that work.